Hello.
What up, everybody?
Hi, besties. Oh my goodness. We first have to see, how was SummerSlam?
It was everything y'all seen on TV times 10.
Nice.
It was crazy. I'm still tired. I'm still exhausted.
Yeah, I bet.
I really don't know how the hell people do that for an entire weekend. I
Mm.
went for one night and one day. Just real quick, Cleveland should never book that many things to happen in downtown Cleveland on the same night ever again.
Oh no.
So many of us were still at the arena after 1 o'clock.
Oh no.
Trying to get Ubers. Like I know I seen Denise was still there after 1 o'clock. And it was crazy. They had obviously SummerSlam was in Cleveland. There was a Cleveland Guardians game. Martin Lawrence had a comedy show downtown at the Cleveland Cavaliers Stadium.
Wow.
There was 2 concerts downtown as well, and all of this in one night. So downtown Cleveland was rocking on Saturday night, to say the least.
That's a lot. So it was so much fun. Were you so excited? What was your favorite moment? What was the best moment?
I mean, clearly, the obvious. Roman coming out, I thought people were gonna start jumping over the barricade and stuff. It was crazy. it was a lot louder in person than it was on TV for sure.
Really?
Because I watched it back when I got home on TV, and I'm like, man, it felt way louder than that. Obviously, there's so many people there, and so some areas may seem louder than others. But from where I was at, it was nuts. So that was the best moment. It had to be Roman returning. It had to be. Sorry, people that enjoy Monday Night Raw, but I give SmackDown the edge for SummerSlam because Roman coming back. 100 million views on Roman returning backs up the claim that Roman was the best part of SummerSlam. But great show, and then we have to declare the Raw after SummerSlam officially like Raw after Mania. We got to, right?
It was pretty good. It was a lot, top to bottom. It was a lot of, I think that's why I'm kind of tired, because it was one of those newsworthy nights where I don't even know how many I wrote. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to discuss. That's always exciting. Okay, well, let us know. We know who's here. MDB is here. Hello, bestie.
What up? What up?
Get us your slam chat, slamchat.com.
That's right.
Yeah. Or on here, super chat us.
You should do that every time you say it from now on. Slamchats.com.
With the finger.
Do that noise you just
as well. That's good. I will. I'll start doing that.
That's good stuff.
It did feel like SummerSlam Mania. I did feel like I wasn't there, and I'm still tired. Honestly, it was just a long day. There was that.
I'll tell you how exhausting it was in the one summary. So Sunday, the day after SummerSlam, I think I told you I was supposed to go meet Braun Breaker. He had a meet and greet.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He had a meet and greet on Sunday. I didn't even go.
Oh.
I didn't even go.
Just too tired.
Yeah, I already decided Saturday night. When we were waiting over an hour and a half for an Uber, I had already decided, look, we're getting up in the morning. We're eating this free breakfast we got at this hotel. and we are getting the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, digging out. That's
and
funny.
then I ended up seeing pictures of the meet and greet, and the lines were just ridiculous again.
Yeah.
And plus, only a certain amount of people get the wristbands to meet them.
Oh, so you could like wait you could wait all that and then like
not even get to meet them.
Yeah, that would be that's a lot.
So I didn't even get to wear my shirt, so I decided to wear it today.
Yeah.
Roof. I see champ.
That was pretty funny. So let us know, besties. Get your thoughts, get your comments in over here. There is already an interloper from SmackDown, so we can start there, I guess, because the night started off. Ludwig Kaiser was back.
Yep.
He introduced Gunther, came in, the brand new champion. He did beat Damien Priest at SummerSlam with some scandalous help from Finn Balor. So if you're not caught up with what happened at SummerSlam, I honestly think you should probably just listen to this after you get caught up, because we're going to mess everything all up, because tonight genuinely was just a lot of extension from Saturday. Yeah. So I don't want to get mad at us about spoilers, but we're definitely about to spoil SummerSlam. So FYI. Finn Balor turned on Damien Priest.
Yeah.
Probably like as expected. I mean, I feel like DC has been knowing this for quite some time now, but it definitely came to fruition. So he I would say helped Gunther to a degree. I think that boot on the rope is questionable. So we can go ahead and count that as having helped him win, but he did win, which then kind of kicks off a couple different stories. But the first up on the night was Gunther coming out, sort of just like, I'm never surprised, I think is the one thing that was interesting, that he's like, I'm never caught off guard. And then out comes from out of nowhere.
Yep.
Randy Orton. Caught him off guard. But then later he delivers like a separate line where he's like, I'm never caught off guard. So it's like, I don't know if maybe he goofed up. But Randy Orton ended up telling him he doesn't want to RKO him out of nowhere. He wants him to see him coming.
That's right.
So that was pretty sassy. I don't mind this. First of all, I'm probably going to mess up. What is it? It's Bash in Berlin. Okay, so pretty much every story I write, I am writing some dumb thing that's not. I keep writing Bash at Berlin. Yeah. And then apparently earlier, it's in or at?
It's in.
Yep. And then apparently earlier I wrote Battle in Berlin. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So yeah, Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin.
Sounds like it'll be Gunther against Randy Orton.
Yep. Orton says he technically never beat him. He wouldn't even be champion. He wouldn't even have the title shot at SummerSlam if he didn't beat Randy Orton. Mm-hmm. So that's the storyline they're going with. Damien Priest gets no rematch. He has bigger fish to fry. Mm-hmm. So we get Randy Orton and Gunther at Bash in Berlin in Germany, where obviously Gunther's going to retain. I'm sure that's not some big spoiler. I mean, give him the title to lose less than a month later in front of his crowd, that would be rough. I love the part I love the most about that promo, though, was when Gunther said, what was his direct quote? He said, you thought what I did with the Intercontinental Championship was something? Then he said, wait till you see what I do with this title. So we may or may not be getting a long title reign from Gunther. We'll see. But that was my favorite quote, is when he brought up what he did with the IC belt and said he's going to do even better with this belt.
There's a miniature mutiny outside. So why don't you talk about something and I'll be right back.
Yeah, so y'all, to catch y'all up, Amanda will be back momentarily. So that was the way that Raw kicked off. Obviously, Gunther, Randy Orton is. So apparently, Raw and SmackDown did some sort of trade. So tonight from SmackDown, Raw got Randy Orton started the show, and then later on in Monday Night Raw, A-Town Down Under from SmackDown were also on the show. They faced Awesome Truth in a match that obviously Awesome Truth won. A-Town Down Under ain't winning any more matches as long as they're together. But that obviously leads to who from Raw is going to join SmackDown. Could be Jey Uso, Sami Zayn. That's where I think they're going with it. But we'll see. So Raw and SmackDown did some kind of business. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce did some sort of trade. So tonight we got Orton, A-Town Down Under, and then SmackDown will get somebody on Friday to join them. But another great Raw, and y'all can send them comments in. We're streaming everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, X, and you guys can weigh in on what your thoughts on the show. I want to know what your favorite parts were. There was a lot to love about tonight, and I think the biggest theme that we're, as we exit SummerSlam and enter tonight was the implosion of Judgment Day. I think that's the big storyline that we're dealing with right now. Amanda is just watching, the birth of a new Judgment Day, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's basically, it had like a moment where there's kind of a camera reveal. So there's a tight shot on Finn Balor, and then it kind of pulls back out and it shows. Am I the only one who thinks like Carlito is so random there?
Super.
I just
like it was so
like it made
obvious.
It clear,
you get the shot of all of them, and
there.
then like everyone's all serious and mad, and then Carlito's over.
Yeah,
it's like, all right. It's just like, I think that's what makes it great, though. Is like the comedy relief.
That's true. He is pretty funny, and I think that he's funny to kind of play off of like Dom and Liv. So Carlito still has a role here, but Carlito is definitely there. Big Head JD McDonagh is still there, but definitely now it was revealed it was Dominic and Liv, and they were kind of like, that's the new faction.
Yep.
Which then later they have a match. We can just jump to that if that's okay.
Yeah.
Damien Priest and Big Head go after each other. What I liked about something that was sort of unique is that they made that match in the beginning of the show, and it was kind of like an off the cuff, like where they kind of make it seem like we're just making this. But then through the show, there was backstage like a vignette about the match, directed like promos kind of at each other. Like JD had one like directed at Priest, and Priest had one directed at JD. It was just like, it was a nice touch. I enjoyed that. I think those give an opportunity to show personality in a way that doesn't always come through, because I don't think remember JD McDonagh on NXT had so much personality, and there was so much character to him, and now it's just like he's just basically been like this goofy dude with Judgment Day for a while. So hopefully they have him. I personally wasn't a huge fan of the like angle on NXT, only because I don't know who was writing it, but like what they were writing was just like, it was weird. Like it was like weird clinical stuff that they got off like Google. It was like, oh, that heart valve actually got. I was like, this is kind of weird, but it was
like extremely scientific.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm not sure. I think I understood what they were doing, and I just didn't love the execution. Yeah. But I think the idea of presenting him as just like a creepy guy, because he was pretty creepy in NXT, and he plays a pretty convincing creep. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. But that match just sort of devolved into nothingness. I don't think there was a result, right? It just basically everybody jumped Damien Priest. Yep. He kind of fought off a little bit until basically it was just Liv and Dom in the ring with Priest, and then Rhea Ripley came out and chased them away. Dom ran faster than Liv. Liv got caught. Dom did not. She didn't really like get too much in on her though.
No, not yet.
Not yet. We'll definitely see more from those two, I am sure.
The crowd tonight in Baltimore was awesome.
They really were. They were awesome. So excited for so many things.
There was only one match that they weren't awesome. But all the rest of it, all the rest of Raw, they were great. But there was one match where they were chanting some unnice things. I don't know if anyone else heard it, but during the what does Michin call them? The
stud line.
Yeah, the stud line. During that match, I think I heard the crowd. They were saying like one half of the crowd was saying "Let's go EO," and the other half was saying "This is boring."
Oh.
After that, if anyone goes back and watches it, you'll hear it. Yeah, I was like, all right, that's what we're doing. I don't
think it was even that boring, but okay.
Yeah, it's like I think didn't that happen after the Seth Rollins attack? I can't remember the order of
I
how it
do know that
happened.
I know that the New Day one, because Odyssey Jones was right after
Hmm.
Big Bronson Reed, because I was like, oh, that's kind of like
Okay, that's right.
the same
Yep, yep,
shit
yep.
happened twice in a row.
But like, yeah, so like those two things happen, and we'll
Are
obviously
so
get to,
exciting, yeah, and then to
yeah, and
come
so like
down from
two
that.
big things,
Mm,
and then
yeah.
if you're not into what we're doing with the new trio women, then I guess
Mm.
it could not hit with you. I guess, everything isn't for
But
everyone. I get it,
everything is not for everyone. That is
but
very true.
not very nice. These are,
Yeah, that isn't very nice.
yeah,
But what they really sold the hell out of is this Bronson Reed attack. So it didn't even, what's funny about that is I don't even know, like, once you get to the end of the segment, it's easy to forget that started as CM Punk just talking. Like, it was an
yes,
in-ring with CM Punk.
yep,
It turned into he's calling out Drew. Instead of Drew, came Seth,
yeah.
which I hope I'm not the only person who thought that it was like so funny that it looked like Seth was in a Hangman Adam Page costume. Like, he was literally like Hangman Seth Rollins. It was so funny. Punk even commented on it. It was just like funny. So the tassels were very amusing to me. Um, a fashion moment. Seth Rollins should just have cowboy chic for his whole feud with CM Punk. That would make me laugh. Okay. But he came out, then Drew interrupts them. He's up in the fans, like he's in the section. So everything, Punk and Seth are still like, CM Punk was so funny. He was like fully like hissed up type, like pose. Um, and then Drew showed that bracelet. That bracelet, you guys, is so impactful. That
Yep.
bracelet. But he showed the bracelet again, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So Punk ran after Drew, which left Seth in the
He
ring by
didn't just show the
himself.
bracelet; he mentioned his wife's name.
Oh yeah, he did
Like,
actually, and he
look,
did again call Mary ugly.
once you start mentioning names, bro, we gotta go. It's go
This is
time.
true. This
I'm
is
with
true.
you, CM Punk. That was my favorite part of the night. I know everyone was loving the main event, the Wyatt Six, which we'll get to later. I know everyone, I don't want to say everyone. There were some people that weren't a fan of Odyssey Jones kind of joining the New Day, including Xavier Woods. If you look, wasn't very
Mm-hmm.
thrilled. We'll see where that goes.
Dubious at best is what I wrote.
Yeah.
Dubious.
So, but my favorite part of the night, I'll just go ahead and say it was the Seth Rollins attack. That whole from beginning to end, like you just said, it starts with CM Punk
Mm-hmm.
in the ring saying he's happy. He's like, "Why am I happy? I just lost Saturday. Why would I be happy?" Well, I'm at this, basically he's just saying, you guys are still chanting my name. I'm still CM Punk. I looked good on Saturday after not being in the ring for a while. Starts off with that, like you said. Seth comes out instead of Drew. Love that part. And then so you got one feud right there, and then a compelling story also being told in that from earlier on Monday Night Raw tonight. Bronson Reed talking to Adam Pearce,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Look, I just beat Sheamus, and he's in a match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what we're doing. Like, why ain't I in a match? I'm tired of
Right.
being disrespected. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. What do I got to do around here to get some respect and some matches around here?" So he was like, "I'm just gonna do it on my own.
Hmm.
I'm gonna make my own way, do it my own way." And we didn't know what that meant until after that segment. He attacks Seth Rollins out of nowhere, kills him completely. Like,
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
murdered.
murdered him in the ring on Monday Night Raw on live television. Like, it was awesome. Like, that was very, very attitude area. Like, it reminded me of like some hardcore stuff. Like, he just kept doing it over and over. The crowd started getting into it. Like, he just kept one more time, one more time. And when they started doing that, I was like, yes, this is what you want. He's a heel. He's not even supposed to be getting this reaction, but that's how awesome it was. And this is the
Mm-hmm.
Bronson Reed we want. So
Yeah.
that was my favorite part. It was just him completely destroying Seth Rollins in the ring and making a name for himself. You want those kind of stories.
And honestly, I think both of those segments, both of those moments, like essentially introduced someone and made them at the same time, because we've already known like what Bronson Reed is about, but not to the degree that he's like kind of catapulted in this way. Like, that was very much
Mm-hmm.
a star making moment. People like to talk about that, but it was fun that as I was writing it, I was like, oh, it's like 2 off of the top rope. Oh, and a third and a fourth and a fifth. It was like I was literally,
Did you count how many?
Yeah, there was 6.
There was 6.
Yeah, there was 6, and
completely
then the
over
7th
exaggerated.
one.
I've been telling people it was like 10. I've been
And
completely
then the
over
7th
exaggerated.
one, they rolled him away, which I thought
That's
was
right.
funny. But yeah, I do think that some of that was very much elevated by so many people in the ring. And I think also other people, the people that were in the ring are people who get it, right? So like Jason Jordan knows how to. What's the funniest thing is if you watch the one, at least that they played on replay, you can watch it and watch each person because like Jason Jordan is selling that shit. Like he thinks Seth is dead. He's like, ah, you know what I mean? Like each person is so into that moment. And like,
then the blood.
Then the blood. And like, kind of not moving. I thought that it was interesting that they didn't move away from Seth right away. Like they kind of made it seem like, no, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. And then like as they realized, oh no, he's doing it, then they kind of scattered. So it was just very well choreographed to make it very no, I will not. Thank you. You're gonna screen grab that. I know what you perverts do with these videos here. My punching one was funnier. My punching face was actually one that I would think is a better screen grab personally. But yeah, so that was a pretty fun moment. I do think that they made it. I think Seth sold it too. Like he
did.
Dead. Like he was really. It was good. That was a good one. And it was nice that it came pretty out of nowhere. I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to see a Seth Rollins and
a lot of people, like you mentioned, a lot of people wouldn't even have realized that whole segment started with CM Punk promo.
Yeah, it was just
by the way, for you and all the viewers right now, what did everyone think of CM Punk's return to one-on-one action, his first match? I thought he looked great. I mean, I thought that was one of the best matches, honestly, at SummerSlam. I mean, I thought he looked really good at SummerSlam. What did you think?
I thought so as well. I also thought it was compelling to me that if you compare his matches in AEW to a match at SummerSlam, it's very clear that there is a different level of like trust and appreciation between, and I'm not saying like I don't know these people. I don't know if Philly Phil is good friends with Drew or not. I don't think that they're necessarily besties. I don't think that's the case. But there was definitely, I think, just like the precision to the movements and like the way that so much of it felt very much like they were on the same page. They had really crafted a story together.
Yeah.
There was so many moments too that like, I think in the past I've said, I don't know how closely Seth Rollins is like in on it. Like, I don't know how much he's working with them, but I do think at least for the production of this match, he had to have been up in that conversation because there were so many, there was a lot of precision in the movements. There was a lot of things that would not have gone well if all three of them were on the same page and communicating well and kind of working well together. So it's really fascinating. I think the only other match that I've seen from Punk that I thought, I mean, there was like, I don't know, nobody in the chat cares, right? You guys don't care about AEW. But go back and look at, there's like the CM Punk MJF dog collar match was pretty cool. And then I would say also his like the last one, the Samoa Joe at Wembley was like
that was a good one.
That's a good one. And that's something that I wanted. I was hopeful that we would see that version of Punk kind of where he's like almost a little bit kind of dickish, right? And I do think SummerSlam it was a little bit like that. He wasn't like he had an axe to grind. He wanted to murder that.
I think the biggest thing I noticed in this match compared to the other ones is he didn't look as winded.
Yeah. No, I do think right. And I think there's probably a cardio aspect to that. And there's also just probably like putting a match together that's a more strategic match because I do think sometimes they go a little hard over on the other side of town where I could understand where if you have the cardio to do that, it's no big deal to you, but you're also wrestling like a 50-year-old man. So you really have to like
what is he,
balance 45? That out a little bit.
45, 46?
I don't know how old he is. Oh no, I'm just insulted Phil. I'm so sorry. Philip.
Yeah, he's 45. He turns 46 in October.
I'm sorry. Phil.
Not 50 yet.
Not 50 yet.
Not 50 yet.
Sure isn't.
No.
Somebody is 50 already. Is Christian Cage 50? Somebody's above 50 where I'm like, whoa, you're above 50?
I'm sure him and Edge are pretty close.
Might be just making stuff up.
Maybe. But yeah,
probably.
I was curious because CM Punk I thought looked really good at SummerSlam, and I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes. He continues to keep overlooking Drew, and Drew's still like playing these mind games to get control of his mind, distract him. I love it. I'm loving everything. Raw was so good tonight, Amanda. Like there was so much to love about it. That was a great part. How did you feel about Odyssey Jones? There's a lot of mixed reviews on online. They're saying that he's replacing Big E. I don't think that's really happening. I think this was a way to get Odyssey Jones on television. And Xavier Woods is obviously, as if you paid close attention, which you didn't really have to look that far, you could clearly see it on his face. He didn't like it. He wasn't a fan of it. So I don't think it's something where we're going to see Odyssey Jones replace Big E. But I think it was a way to get Odyssey Jones on television finally. Like it took forever. Yeah. But I think it's a way to get him on television and get him involved in the show.
I think that was it on Besties? There's somewhere in the world that I've floated my psychotic theory that I think New Day should remain an intellectual property and just rotate cast members. Like it should be like Menudo, where like New Day stays static. Like the imagery, the colors, the vibes are the same. And then like they kind of can cycle through members as needed. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I want that to happen. Like I got excited, like, oh yeah. I do think that, and then right after Big E tweeted about it. And so then it was,
he did. Nice.
Yeah. And it was like like he did great, like blah, 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 like made a lot of new fans tonight kind of a thing. So it was like, it kind of felt nice. Like there was a little bit of not like a stamp of approval, but he was definitely like making it publicly known that he thought it was fine and thought it was cool or whatever. Yeah. I do think it's definitely setting up a more compelling storyline for why Woods might just end up defecting entirely versus just like, oh, Karrion Kross wore me down. Cause like, I don't know what the hell that storyline was. Okay. Also though, then they have a backstage where,
man, agree. Don't even get me started.
That's my girl. I don't know where she's at.
Yeah, don't even get me started.
We don't even have time to go into that because I'll
don't even get me started. But I am 100% with you.
Yes, agreed. The McDonagh James fan club starts here. Don't worry, we're confused too. Okay, so it was. What were we even talking about? I'm sorry, I got so distracted.
Odyssey Jones after the match, where Odyssey Jones was backstage talking with the New Day.
So they had like a backstage segment where Woods is kind of like, "Oh, I didn't know about this. Like, I don't even know. I didn't know you knew this guy," kind of a thing. Kofi's like, "Oh, I know him from the Performance Center when I was rehabbing, and like I told him we needed extra help against Final Testament or whatever." And it was just like they were so like, "Oh, chill." And then the whole time, Woods looks so suspicious. Like in the ring, he looks suspicious, and the backstage, he looks suspicious. But then it kind of comes to a conclusion. I just Tozawa walking up and telling Woods, doesn't he just say like, "Woods, you're so nasty," and then they do the dance? It was like, what?
It was to quickly switch gears and make.
Yeah, and just like, okay, like don't worry about what you just saw, kind of a thing. But it was very, very. I think it's very possible that there's a lot of different layers of people watching WWE. I'm sure there's people that do not even care or notice or did not touch them at all that Woods was dubious regarding this, right? Like it's something that it matters the depth to which you're paying attention. So I noticed, but in the grand scheme of things, it was very funny that it just kind of like died. Like he looked really suspicious, but then there was no resolution of the conversation. It was just like Tozawa came up and danced. But I guess that's how life is. You don't necessarily like get information in that moment. Instead, just someone walks up to you and distracts you, and then you start doing a dance together as a group. I don't know. It did kind of seem like what they're perhaps teasing is Woods taking over Gable's spot in Alpha Academy. Is what like I think is happening.
But maybe he doesn't go heel, and he just
he's just like with them, like you fall in with them. And I don't know what the point of that would be necessarily, but
or
it'd be fun.
I'd rather see him as a heel. I've been so set on wanting to see a heel side of him just because I have a feeling it would work.
I think it would work.
Like part of me, for some reason, thinks that if Xavier Woods becomes a heel, like he could be very, very good.
Yeah,
I think it could work, and I've been wanting it pretty much since this whole thing with Karrion started.
Yeah, and we kind of been telling ourselves that's what we were
Yeah, and
trudging
I've
through
like
this
convinced myself.
for.
I
And
want
now
it
I'm
now.
like,
Like I want it now. I'm just kidding. I don't want it now. But keep teasing me till it happens.
yeah.
But because obviously the New Day got so much history, but that whole part just felt weird. Like they didn't get a big reaction when they came out for that match either. The New Day. I don't know if you remember,
No.
but it was weird. It was like it felt really dead when they came out, and then like everyone's super confused when Odyssey Jones come out. Like I'm sure there were so many people that had no idea who he was.
Yeah, I think that they did not know who he was, but I think that he was so impressive that they like acted like he was so cool and that
Yeah.
they like all went bananas, and it was a very nice like debut moment. But I do also
I mean,
think
dude picked up 300, 400. I mean, it's right
those are big
there.
boys. Yeah.
Two big boys just
Yeah.
carried him like 2 sacks of potatoes
Yep.
and slammed him. Like, look, it got the whole world on notice. So that was a good part of tonight too. I think for the first time, anything with Final Testament made me excited because we've repeatedly
Yeah.
talked about it. It's not been hitting. This
Yeah.
whole feud between New Day and Final Testament, to me, so far up until tonight, has just been whack. So I'm really glad that we finally got some kind of life in this story because it was getting. I mean, it wasn't getting. It was just dull. It was dull from the start.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot there, but it definitely progressed, so that's good. There's the main event still. Is there something else? There was supposed to be Dakota Kai and
Yeah,
Sonya
Sonya
Deville.
Deville. Yeah,
And then they attacked Dakota Kai backstage, so it swapped out, and it was just like Io and Kyrie came out. They did some cool stuff. I don't know. That was cool.
I'm
I
really
think it's
glad
hard.
that Io got the win.
Yeah, because I don't think that she's definitely taken a fair number of losses. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
I
not in
think it was
singles, but
time. Even if Dakota Kai, which to me, like, it does it seem that there might be like, is Dakota injured? Like, really injured?
I don't
Because
know.
like that was an interesting way to do that. Right? I mean,
Yeah,
Dakota Kai was slated for the match against Sonya Deville, and then they attack her backstage on the leg that
yeah,
she injured,
yeah.
and then they just replace her with Io. Like, I don't.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, is it just me to think that's kind of odd? Because you could very easily just have Dakota Kai beat Sonya Deville. Did they not believe that that was believable, or like, I don't know? Those are the questions that were running through my head. Like, is she really injured, and that was the angle they wanted to? Like, did she have a setback or something since she came back? And I don't know. I just thought it was weird. But all in all, I'm glad that Damage Control got the win. I think Sonya Deville and the crew needed to get knocked back down a little bit, get that ego. But we get a tag match next week. I seen they, said that it's going to be Shayna and Zoe against Kairi Sane and I think it was Io because Dakota Kai wasn't in that match either for next week. So
I wonder.
That's what had me thinking. Like, is Dakota Kai injured? I really hope not because I've been wanting Dakota Kai to get a push for a while as a solo star. So we'll see. But that was also what happened tonight. And Lyra, who did Lyra face tonight? Lyra had a match.
It was one of them too, wasn't it? Was it Zoe?
I think she faced Shayna Baszler.
Oh, it was. It was Shayna Baszler because there was like Shayna Baszler fun facts on commentary.
It was just so quick because it ended in disqualification.
Yeah.
Because the stud line just interrupted it after like 8 minutes.
Yeah, it was torn
if
apart.
it made it to 8 minutes. That's why it was so easy to forget because it was like it didn't even really gain any momentum in the match and it's like already over. So,
also, during the match, Michael Cole shared that Shayna Baszler makes soups.
I didn't know that.
Like a hobby.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
And then randomly, Pat's like, she makes knives too. And then it was just like, they just had like a small Shayna Baszler fun fact moment. That was really fun. So, yeah. If anyone knows what Shayna Baszler's favorite soup recipes are, please do let us know. I will try soup recipes. Did she just get them on Pinterest? Like, I don't know. I need to figure this out. But yeah, that was exciting. And then it sort of melded into a moment where Pat was just talking about broccoli cheddar soup for a second. And I was like, oh, damn, I'm hungry, Pat. Don't do this to me.
I'm really going to miss this duo.
Oh, I'm going to miss them.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I mean, look, Tessitore is a talent. So, like, you know, it's not going to be like a bad show, but it's definitely not going to be like it is now. So just get used to that, folks. It's not going to be, probably not going to be as fun.
Yeah. We'll get him back. Don't we get him back for Netflix? I think we get him back in January. I think it's just for college football. So football's slowing down everybody's social lives, you know. That's how it goes, I guess, in the fall. So is that it? They're just now main event happening. I can't think of their women's segment.
Yeah, we mentioned A-Town. Yeah, A-Town Down Under, Awesome Truth.
That's
right. Io Sky, Damien Priest. We didn't. I mean, Sheamus beat Kaiser. We didn't really say that Sheamus won.
That's true.
But yeah, the Wyatt Six debuted finally.
We did.
What was everybody's thoughts on the Wyatt Six's debut tonight against American Made?
Made.
That hurt to even say. Look, I can't be the only one.
I don't like an America gimmick because I think it's like weird.
Yeah,
but, I don't know.
I do not like the name.
I guess like election vibes. They're gonna try to like lean in. It's just like funny to me because I feel like, yeah, those three look like maybe. Never mind. If anyone looks like it's possible that they're just, you know, really proud to be an American.
American Made.
Those three American maids right there.
Season Ivy Nile joining them too, by the way.
Yeah, there was. She was like kind of trying to talk to Maxine, and Chad was like, "Ew, why are you talking to her?" Basically,
yeah. You don't need anything from her. She has nothing to give you. She has nothing to offer you. What are you doing? Let's go.
And then like poor Maxine's just like standing there, like what? Okay.
Yeah. So, what did everyone think of the Wyatt Six? Let those comments roll in. Super chat.
Let the comments come in. Let me know.
It's Wyatt Six debuted finally. Come out in Bray's theme. Come out in Bray's theme.
They did come out to Bray's theme. Was it the full theme? My editor said it was exactly the same, but I feel like the beginning was a little different because I do know that. Really? It had the same creepy piano?
I think it had, I think it was the exact same.
Maybe I just was like not as creeped out by it. The piano, the like slow piano beginning was always the most frightening thing to me about Bray's whole entrance. Because also my daughter would do it on like a little baby keyboard. So it would just start happening at random other times. It would just be like a bing, bing. It was like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah, we got the Joe Gacy tape too.
We did. We got a Joe Gacy tape. I got kind of scared that they were going to actually make us call them Huskus and Mercy for a hot second.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, but no, they still called them by their names too, so that was cool. Oh yeah.
So what'd you think of their debut?
I mean, I thought it was well executed for everything, like all things considered. I think that it was required that there were a little bit of lighting tricks. I think that if they had not kept the fogger on a little bit so that like the chair still had some fog around it, it would have not like looked cool anymore. So like somebody had to have like a lot of details like behind how this was actually going to physically look, because they kept all of the characters, like all 5 of them looked pretty strong throughout. They didn't look goofy. And I think the looking goofy was the part that I think was most concerning. Yeah, I don't know. It was, you know, what's fascinating is that it was not necessarily, did you feel like, I felt like I was in a little bit of a time warp. I feel like I've already seen Joe Gacy wrestle Julius Creed. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
like I've already seen, like, so some of these things, these moments, it was actually very compelling to me that it was possibly people that I've already seen fight. It's possibly even doing moves that I've already seen. Because even like Joe Gacy's creepy corner thing, like he used to do that in NXT. Like that's, you know, like it's a beautiful, like kind of a tribute and a callback in this match. But like that, he's been doing it for a while.
He's been doing that.
But to have it with like a completely different life, because they are very much like different people, I guess, was very interesting. I think Dexter Lumis looks the same kind of time warp of like, that's Dexter Lumis, but it's also not,
It's not. He got dreads now.
He's got dreads. There's
He
like a
got
different
dreads.
cadence to his movements. I think he used to look very like sharp, and this is not. This is much more fluid. So just kind of like the way that the presentations have changed was fascinating. I thought Eric Rowan, I'm never going to get over it. Every time one of these guys, yeahs, I feel like someone kicked me in the face. I want to throw up, but then I'm also happy about it. It's like a whole thing. Like I have a whole range of horrible grief-related emotions. So like that was a hard one. But I do think that it's so nice to see him there, isn't it? It's
He was
really
great.
nice to see Eric Rowan.
I thought he looked great. I think out of everything we've seen in that match, I thought he shined the brightest. I thought it felt like he kind of took control and showed that he's going to be the leader of the three. It felt very strong, like he's going to be the leader. He looked great in the ring. Obviously Joe Gacy, we know, is going to be great in the ring. He always has been. And Dexter Lumis, that was the first time I've got to see him wrestle in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really get to see a whole lot of Dexter Lumis. So tonight we got a little bit of him. I thought they looked really good. I thought the presentation is still seamless and solid. I think they nailed it. And what I was also really happy about was it wasn't a squash match. I was really afraid that we were going to get like a 5-minute main event and they were just going to destroy American Made in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like not even that. Like just, all right, we're going to give you our specials and pin you 1, 2, 3. And it's like, they actually gave us a full match, which was awesome. I thought it was a great debut. I am very excited to see more. Now, does this end their thing with Chad Gable and the Creeds? Do they move on to the next now? Or are we still getting this? That's the question to ask moving forward. And that's what I'm intrigued about. So like, so is Chad Gable done? Is he in the past and already dealt with and done for? And then they go back to the Alpha Academy and they feud? Or are we not done yet? That's what I'm excited to see.
What's interesting is that it was Gable that took the pin. I think it would have been an
easier. That's why I felt like, all right, so is this over now?
Yeah.
Or is Gable going to be so pissed that he got pinned and lost that he's going to want more? And then maybe we get Chad Gable, Uncle Howdy 1-on-1. Like, well, you got to beat these 3 first to get to the main boss. I'm sorry, you got to. That's how it works. That's how it works. You don't just go to Mr. Roboto, whatever his name, Robotnik, whatever his name is in Sonic. I forget his name. You don't just go straight to the boss. You got to defeat his little people first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. And then if it's not just more with them, then like what do they do next? Because there's so many. Yeah, there's a lot of who else did they show? I mean, I feel like Gunther feels obvious, but I don't know that they will do that very soon because I feel like that's sort of.
I think their next target will be the Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm wondering if they're going to stay with Chad for a little bit until Damien Priest takes down the Judgment Day and gets his revenge. And then the Judgment Day officially gets ended by the Wyatt Sick6. Splits them up. Like, that's where I'm thinking it goes. But either way, I'm intrigued. I loved every bit of that tonight. They are nailing the cinematic flair and with the presentation of the Wyatt Sick6. I'm usually not even in the horror stuff, but it's working for me.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. And they were great in the ring tonight. And that's what you want. You wanted a strong debut in the ring. You wanted them all to shine and look good. And they did just that. I'm loving it. I'm ready to see Sister Abigail wrestle. I want to see her get in the ring. And I want to see Uncle Howdy in the match as well. I'm ready. I'm ready to see where we're going with this because I'm loving it right now.
Yeah. I thought it was good from a production standpoint too. Like after the match was over, then they went through and almost like Michael Cole said each of their names and showed them in slow-mo doing a move. It was like, no, we're like really, you're going to know who these people are. It's not like how it used to be. I think sometimes when our faves got pulled up from NXT back in the bad old days, you would just feel such dread for them, and this is not that way. I feel like they're really being prepared to succeed. In a way that this gimmick requires so much, like a lot of nuance and a lot of planning and a lot goes into it, but they really are. I don't know. If you don't like it, you just probably don't like it, because I can't imagine you can actually genuinely watch that and think that it holds no entertainment or artistic value. Like, if you can honestly say that, then like, I don't even know. Like, just even the costuming, like, you're gonna tell me like you can't, like, there's got to be something about this that you could put over. Otherwise, you are simply being a hater, and that's cool. I like people when they're committed to being haters, but just announce yourself as a hater, because it's annoying. It's annoying to just like be nitpicking the weirdest stuff. Like, I feel like some of the critique gets so down a rabbit hole where it's like,
it's stupid.
Chill
So,
out.
like, speaking of hating, though, so we said our favorite parts of the night. So, what were our least favorite moments?
Oh, my least best. Oh, MDB is committed to being a Sami Zayn hater forever. I
don't know about hater. Now, I
don't hate him, but I do think that's possible. That was my least best of the night because I thought it was like kind of stupid. And then they said that it's a 2 out of 3 falls match next week with Braun. So like, you're just doing that so that Sami gets one of the pins. Like, it's not.
So it doesn't make him look weak again.
And then like, I don't know why we're even doing that, because I don't know why we're doing that. If we were just gonna go Sami J after the tag titles anyway, I would just like prefer that happens.
Yeah,
Sami is so pleasant. I enjoy him, but I don't really want to see him. I wanted a totally new character of Sami, and I know why they're not doing it, because I think we're riding it out till Survivor Series.
See, I think they're definitely getting ready for a new Sami personality.
Do you think that he joins that War Games stuff?
I don't know, but I know we're getting a different Sami because they keep teasing it, and they've been teasing it. Honestly, they've been teasing it. It goes back to with his feud with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
It goes back to that. Like, we're definitely, I don't know if we're getting, I'm not saying we're getting a heel Sami, but we're definitely going to get a different version of Sami. And tonight, it's just, you could tell, like, it took a little bit of convincing from Jay. Like people, like, I might be reading too far into it. We'll see. But I've been pretty spot on with my prediction. So I think I've, shirt my shoulders a little bit. But if rewatch it and you can see the disappointment on Sami's face, like, this one's just stinging a little bit more than the rest of it. This time's different. Jay's like, come on, man, you're gonna go out and win the title back and you're gonna get your rematch and yada yada yada. And he's like, nah, like, that sounds good, but like, nah, this is hitting a little bit different. Like, this don't feel right. It took like a few times until, all right, yeah, I got my rematch coming. So don't turn on Jay soon.
Snake in the grass. Can I say, I think from like a character perspective, Sami Zayn is incredibly detailed. So if you start, like, I noticed tonight that his costuming's already different. So champion costuming, he had the hoodie that was like, Khadijah, I did it. Like, it was the like Khadijah merch from after Mania. And he always had wet hair. And then his beard was like getting fuller, but it wasn't always so bushy. Tonight was back to the like slick down, long, kind of fuzzy. Like, he looks like he's almost getting back to the conspiracy theory Sami Zayn. That's my favorite Sami Zayn.
Yeah, same.
I have lots of favorite Sami Zayns, but that one I think is the funniest to me. So conspiracy theory Sami Zayn would be a delight. I also think anytime anyone has a gimmick where they're like allowed to say provocative things, I think that kind of liberates people to say things that are meaningful to them anyway. So that would probably be good. Just let Sami say whatever he wants to say.
Yep.
If Logan Paul gets to say anything he wants to say, I think that Sami Zayn should get to say anything he wants to say. But that is a conversation for another day, besties.
For sure.
Oh my goodness. I thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Yep. There were minor technical difficulties. I would like to check and see if the one that I made is anywhere near correct. Because, like, I don't know. We could have been streaming to 2 people instead. So thank you. Cass fixed it for us. We were able to get up and running so we could chat with the besties.
Did I tell you real quick? Did I tell you before SummerSlam who was walking in front of me? Did you see my video?
No. Who?
So I was walking into SummerSlam.
Uh-huh.
And I posted it on my Instagram. I'm walking up to the stadium, and guess who's walking in right in front of me?
Who?
Zilla Fatu.
What?
Right in front of me. I posted it on my Instagram. It's nuts. Like, we're just walking, walking the stadium, running late like usual, like I always am. Yeah. And there's a guy with the camera walking, like a professional camera. Uh-huh. So I'm like, all right, what is this dude doing? Like,
yeah, what are they watching?
And then all of a sudden, I see a guy taking a picture. I see the back of him. So I don't see his face yet, but he's taking a picture with someone. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And they get done with the picture and they shake hands or whatever, and they turn around. I'm like,
wow, that's exciting.
Fucking Zilla standing right in front of me. So I didn't ask him for a picture or nothing because, like, look.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do your thing,
cool.
Bro.
You're cool about it.
That told me, so because, like, everyone in the crowd was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely getting involved in the bloodline match. He's going to be, I'm like, if he was going to be involved in that, he would not be out here with us.
Yeah, he's not hanging out with us.
He's not going to be out here walking with us if he's in SummerSlam.
Yeah, no.
30 minutes before showtime. Like, that's not how it works.
That is not.
But yeah, that was awesome. He literally had a normal seat. He was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, he had a normal seat. There was somebody, I seen somebody shared the pictures sitting, he was sitting behind him. He's just sitting in a normal seat.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Jeez. So that was one of my big highlights. Yeah, bro. Like,
I would have gotten really excited as well.
It's like, that's fucking Zilla. Exciting. Like, what the, like, really right in front of me. Like, it's so weird. Yeah, we get him soon. He'll be in the War Games match. I will give you that for sure. Don't know what side though. We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see.
Oh, do you think we see Paul Heyman
the Friday night show with Stephanie and I forget the other girl's name.
Chrissy.
I didn't want to. I was going to say Christine or Christy. Yeah, Friday Night SmackDown show. Definitely check that out. Roman returns. So I'll save that for them. But Monday Night Raw tonight was an all-timer. So much excitement. Seth Rollins gets destroyed and put in a hospital bed probably by Bronson Reed. Not really. To work. Relax.
Somebody sent him something to cough up though, because that like little cough up the blood was like pretty good. Like I don't know what exactly it was, but it was. I thought it was good. Yeah,
Wyatt Sick6 debut. There's a lot to unpack tonight. Damien Priest and Rhea beat up the Judgment Day round 1. I'm sure we're gonna get that at Bash in Berlin. So what happened tonight? It was a great show. Great show. Not a whole lot to not like. I guess my worst would just be. I'll probably go Lyra Shayna. It was just too quick, unnecessary. It felt like it was just to kill 10 minutes of time. Like you could have gave me something else.
That's probably true.
So for me, and I'm not going to pick Lyra for a worst very often. So enjoy it if you.
Her costume looked really fancy tonight, though. Look, there's like next level costuming and makeup.
And she's got Pat doing the woo to her song. Yeah. Pat doing it on
That's a good thing. I think if Pat can get behind your gimmick, then you kind of like suddenly are in a different way. So that's very good. Well, besties, it was so nice to chat with you. It's always nice to spend Monday nights with you. Follow DC anywhere you can find him. He's on the gram. He's on Twitter. Don't waste your time following me, but you can if you want. I don't think there's a lot of insightful commentary that comes out, but we do only have, it's just with a little bit longer with Pat. I will miss Pat. But yeah, besties, thank you so much for joining us. Definitely let us know you can send in slam chats at any time. I don't know if you know that, but you can go to slamchats.com and send in messages. It doesn't even have to be during the show. Yeah. But other than that, have a good week.
That's right.
Take good care.
Talk to you next week. Got an Intercontinental title match next week. So
there'll be
more. We got a lot to talk about next week too. We'll be back.
Bye.
Peace and love.